When compassion is a crime, generosity a weakness, we are lost. We are lost. When the lies become the truth and the truth becomes a lie, we are lost. We are lost. When the billionaires are free to destroy democracy, we are lost. We are lost. Jesus is crying for our Oval Office. He's looking down, but he's afraid to show. 'Cause they say that he was lying, and you know they'd crucify him like they did so long ago. While they devastate our parks and consume our private data, we are lost. We are lost. When the golden age meets pissy on the things that really matter, we are lost. Yeah, we are lost. While we yell in indignation, they gaslight the whole damn nation. We are lost. Yeah, we are lost. Jesus is crying for our Oval Office. He's sending prayers, but he's afraid to show. They convince us he is lying, and we let them crucify him like we did so long ago. Ooh, yeah. They call us woke, but we better wake up, 'cause we're letting them steal our trees. While we dust off and shake off the chalk, we're zooming ahead full steam. It's grab and slash, make off with the cash, hobble our dignity till we explode, then martial law, and then autocracy. Could it be autocracy? Now the bullies all parade, proud of every mess they've made. We are lost. We are lost. We tiptoe around in fear for the devils they might hear. We are lost. We are lost. Seems like up is now our down. Still we let him wear that crown. We are lost. We are lost. Jesus, he's crying for our Oval Office. He'd like to help, but there's one thing he knows, that it's time for me and you to go to battle for the truth, like we did not so long ago. Yes, it's time for me and you to go to battle for the truth, like we did not so long ago. They call us woke, but we better wake up. They call us woke, but we better wake up. They call us woke, but we better wake up. Before we steal our dreams. They call us woke, but we better wake up.
Hi, everybody. If all the folks in the hallway would come on in. Thank you all for coming out on this thunderous night. My name is Michelle Jennings. I'm the chair of the St. John's Democratic Party. I've got my esteemed executive committee here. Raise your hand. Brian Money, Jay Blumstein, Ruth Honig, Susan. Thank you all. We've got a couple of stragglers coming into the door. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Alex Hazen is a 29-year-old healthcare simulation and video game developer, originally from Wilmington, Delaware. He received his Bachelor's of Science in Game Design and Development from the Rochester Institute of Technology, where he learned how to code and develop software. Today, Alex currently works as a principal software developer on healthcare simulations that help train nurses. He deeply understands the challenges and the opportunities of this new technological era and wants to help shape and create and shape policies that embrace innovation while protecting our youth, our minds, our privacy, and our future. He has spent his entire professional career in Florida. He is running for Congress because he wants to build a future and start a family in Jacksonville. However, the cost of living and the direction of this country have made that dream increasingly harder to reach. Alex believes in bold, progressive policies that make life genuinely more affordable and secure for working people. Please give a warm welcome to candidate for CD5, Alex Hazen.
Hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you for having me tonight to speak to St. John's Democratic Club. I really appreciate being able to share my message. So I want to start tonight by having a little bit of a interactive session. So raise your hand if you are tired of Medicare costs going up every couple of years when the subsidies expire. Okay, a lot of hands. How many of you are tired of hearing we need more immigration and just want immigration to be fixed? How many of you feel like technology has been changing and that it feels like it's working against you more than for you? If you raise your hand for any of those things, I am probably the candidate for you. Hi there, I'm Alex Hazen, and I'm running for U.S. Congress in Florida's 5th Congressional District. I want to give you a little bit of background, may retread some information here, but I'm originally from Wilmington, Delaware. I got my degree in video game design and development. I also have minors in creative writing, which is really difficult in this era of AI. And the other one is entrepreneurship, which means being able to run a huge campaign very quickly and run as fast as you can. That's a lot of the entrepreneurship knowledge is coming in. And I went to Rochester Institute of Technology, and the first job out of college I got was in Gainesville, Florida, and it was February of 2020, and I had to be in person. Now, for those of you who know what happens in March of 2020, you know that things radically changed and I didn't have to stay in Florida. Well, while in Gainesville, I got to meet my newly fiance, Haley, and we were deciding where our next adventure would be, and we looked around and we looked at where we wanted to go, and she was a or she is, a fourth-generation Jacksonvillian. And so the idea of moving to this side of Florida was something that came up, and it just made sense. And so that, along with the beaches, because, of course, gotta love the beaches. I think she wanted to move to Jacksonville more for the beaches and than anything else. But we came over to Jacksonville because we wanted to start a family, raise a family, and create a fifth generation of Jacksonville. And so one of the reasons why I'm running is because things are unaffordable. To raise a family, it costs a lot of money. The average cost for someone having a birth in a hospital, uninsured, is $11,000. That's unaffordable. We can't have that. My brother's health insurance, he's an ice skater. He did the circuits for Disney on Ice, and now he coaches ice skating. And when the subsidies expired, his cost for Medicare went from $20 to $200, a 10 times increase. And we can't keep doing that every 2 years. That's not okay. People can't plan around a 10 times increase. So one of the reasons why I decided to run was family and affordability. Another aspect is technology. So in my day job, I use tech. I create video games for nurses, and I know what it means to make emerging technology that helps people, that saves lives, or helps people train to save lives. And the iteration of technology that we're seeing today with generative AI and how some of these social media companies are operating, it's not to help us. We're the product, or we're replacing ourselves. And we can't keep having that happen. And so before I ran, I looked at the ticket and I said, would I be inspired to come out and vote? And there's a lot of people who are around my age who feel very disenfranchised. Maybe because they don't see people saying the right things, have the right messages, or speaking to the future. And I didn't feel like I saw that. I wanted to see something different. And so I said, I want to see more young people who understand technology in Congress. And so I decided that I was going to throw my hat in the ring and run. And so our policy, our platform is people first and future forward. I'm not running on just platitudes or promises. I'm running on policy ideas. And we're not going to stay stuck in bashing the other side. It's important that we point out the other side and what they're doing. So I usually take either 1 or 2 sentences when I talk about what the other side's doing, and then I move on, because the future isn't about them. The future is about us. So I'm running to unseat John Rutherford. Yes. Every time I say his name, I feel like I get a response that's very interesting, almost like Harry Potter, where you hear Voldemort and they're like, ah. But we're running to unseat John Rutherford, former sheriff. He's on the DHS oversight committee. So he's supposed to rein in ICE. Look how that's going. He also, if you've been tuning into the news, there was a death in the shipyards in Jacksonville the other day, and the company that is a part of that gets funding, John Rutherford gets funding from them, and they don't have safe conditions, and they just laid off a ton of people too. And that's not the only thing. I mean, he's an enabler of Trump, and when January 6th happened, He had nothing to say about our police officers that were in the Capitol, and he's a former sheriff. That should have been something that was of top of mind. Now that we're through with that, let's talk about the future. So I'm running on a platform of people first, future forward. People first meaning we need to create policies and create change that positively impact everyone's lives. So I'm fighting for Medicare for all because that's what we truly need at the end of the day. And I call myself a 3P Democrat. A populist, pragmatic progressive, which means I'm going to fight for Medicare for all to be the solution, but I know that we may have to fight today to do more drug negotiations with pharmaceutical companies, expand Medicare, and expand the age that people are able to start gaining access to Medicare. So that's one of the policies that I'm really proud to run on. Another one is job protections. We need to pass the PRO Act. We need to make sure that unions are possible in as many industries as possible. And we need to make sure that we protect people's jobs from AI and automation, because I would love to get to the future where it's like the Jetsons and people don't have to work as much, but we're not quite there yet, and people need jobs to live. We run in an economy where people need jobs to earn money to live. And if we eliminate jobs, that's hard to do. So the other aspect of our platform is future forward. And I take this aspect of our campaign very seriously. So AI, we need to make sure that common sense things are coming through with AI legislation. There's been bipartisan work on AI regulations already. If you haven't seen, a couple months ago, they banned AI porn from being able to happen, because why would we let generative AI be able to take anyone's face in here and, create something that's an invasion of privacy? But the statistics really show that people are for common sense technology regulation, AI reform. Last month, there was a survey that came out, and it said only 5% of the general population believe in unregulated AI. You know what that means? Democrats, Republicans, independents, libertarians, 95% of the public say we need some level of restrictions. And that may mean protections for jobs. It can mean preventing AI from replacing certain jobs. In China last month, there was a whole lawsuit, a whole ordeal. And one of the companies in China laid off the majority of their people at the company. And in China, they said, oh, you can't do that. You can't lay off everyone without providing some level of support so that people just aren't unemployed on the street. And so if China's doing some of that, and everyone agrees we should be doing some of that here in the United States, we should be doing that. Now, if you're really caught up on the news, the other thing that I really like to talk about is about social media regulation to a certain degree. If you don't know, there's a lot of things in social media, or designs that are used in social media, called dark design patterns or deceptive design patterns. It's a way to keep you addicted to your technology. Have you ever gone on your phone and said, I'm going to spend 5 minutes looking at Facebook? And then it turns into 2 hours. And then you realize, how many friends have I seen while scrolling? Didn't used to be that way. It's because they've changed everything about social media. They've made it algorithmic. They've made it so that you can scroll infinitely. You lose yourself. And those things are part of ways that these big tech companies have constructed their apps in ways that are dangerous for people. And there was a lawsuit 2 months ago that got settled for $300 million against Meta in California about some of these things. And we need to actually have regulations in place so it just isn't, oh, they have to pay a fine every couple years, because it is impacting our attention spans, it's impacting how we interact with people, it's affecting our lives because we're sucked into technology in a way that's not healthy when we want to be doing other things. This past week in Europe, there was a ban for social media for people under the age of 16. And the same thing happened in Australia at the beginning of the year. I have some opinions about how to go about it in the US. I don't know if a straight ban makes sense, but some level of restrictions do. The last thing for Future Forward is really important, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about it tonight than I have previously, which is fixing our government. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do. And starting off, the things that everyone can agree on. And what I'm running on, because what I've seen is that you can be a progressive in some of these areas if you're communicating the right message. Populist ideas that resonate with everyone. And you would have seen it at the State of the Union this past year, where Trump goes, oh yeah, we should cap credit card interest rates. And then all the Democrats stood up and clapped. And he's like, oh, wait, what? Because there are actual populist policies that people agree on like that. Money out of politics. Term limits. And we've already talked about this one, but tech regulation, everyone agrees that those three things are, it cross-cuts. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I got so invested in the future forward. Yes. So we need to change some things about government like that. A big thing is judicial reform. Not a lot of people are talking about it. There needs to be some serious changes. We need to make sure that the court can't be stacked, that when people stop serving on the Supreme Court, that when that happens, that there's a nonpartisan way to assign a new Supreme Court justice. I believe it should be a random selection from federal judges so that you can't stack the court. I also think we need term limits as well for Supreme Court justices. And I also think that no president should be able to appoint 4 to 5 judges on the Supreme Court as well. And so this is one of many of my policies on my website about changing how the Supreme Court works. We need people who are running for US Congress that have real policies that tackle how we're going to change this. We can't keep running on platitudes. We can't keep running on promises. We have to run on policy. Now, I want to tell you why our campaign is the one to win the general. People my age, people who are dissatisfied with politics, want to see something new, something exciting, something different. They don't want to see the same old politicians. They want to see something new. I'm proud to say that we got 2 endorsements today. One from 50501 Northeast Florida. The other one I'm not quite sure if I'm going to share with the wider public. We also got endorsed by Florida for Bernie, so a specific organization for people who are excited about Bernie progressives. So people are excited about this campaign because we're saying the right things, we're doing the right things. And we have six times more endorsements than the next person running for this seat. Because what we've seen is running on real policy is actually exciting the broader public. And we're trying to build coalitions, and that's why we've also been endorsed by the Progressive Caucus of Florida. And so I really tell people when I'm running is that we really don't want to run a smear campaign. We are really running a campaign with ideas, with policies. And this really resonates with people when I say, I don't want to give everyone here just something to vote against. I want to give everyone here something to vote for. So when you go into the booth on August 18th, I want you to think, I'm going to vote for Medicare for all. I'm going to vote for judicial reform. I'm going to vote for technology regulation. I'm going to vote for job protections. I'm going to vote for a future that we can all believe in and support. I'm Alex Hazen. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the time to speak. And thank you so much for coming and believing that this campaign is something to vote for. I'm going to say three things, actually, before I conclude. We need people to come up and step up. And so we're asking the public to do one of three things. So one, sign up to volunteer for us. We need more people to come out and knock on doors. The second is we need financial support to get through the primary, to get through the general. This district is very hard to win. It's a plus 11 district. You can't win it without money, and we know that. So if you're not sure about what you want to donate, my suggestion is $73.29, because if you want to vote out an out-of-touch 73-year-old sheriff, you got to put in a 29-year-old in touch with technology simulation developer. And the last is to follow us on social media. We're having events and updates, and we want to keep you in the loop about what we're doing, how we're getting involved, how we're talking to constituents, and we'll be canvassing all around, so we want to have you included in that. So with that being said, August 18th, don't forget to vote, and make sure you're voting for something. Thank you.
Questions? People who have questions, please put them on 3x5 cards. Teresa's passing them out. Here, I'll give you mine. Or I could give it to Alex.
Anyone have any off-the-cuff questions? Okay. Yes.
Alex, what is your position on reproductive rights?
Great question. So, for those of you who don't know, my background, I'm Jewish, and in the Jewish religion, the first thing is we do everything that we can to save the mother. And so I am very pro women get to choose, and I'm unapologetic about it. I don't have any reservations about that. Women deserve the right to be able to choose whether or not to have a baby or not. And I would say that this also extends to any other medical-related stuff. The government shouldn't get involved with your medical rights. And it goes the same thing with LGBTQ-related, medical-related stuff. Gender-affirming care is healthcare. The government needs to stay out of it.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Good.
Do you want to hear? You step up to the mic.
So first of all, I'm wondering, what do you think we should do about data centers? Do you have an idea about how to get that in control? Just kind of what are your thoughts to how to handle how crazy things are getting, especially when it comes to water issues and really like serious threats to our water supplies?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Bernie Sanders and AOC introduced a bill. Some of you may know it, may not. It was a moratorium, I think, on AI data centers, which means let's not build any until we know what can happen. Don't think that's going to pass. There's a long road ahead of us with regards to regulation AI data centers. The smartest thing is to require, and I think about this in a different context, not just AI data centers. How many of you remember what the last big technology was that used a lot of electricity from the grid?
Nuclear? Nuclear?
No, it was Bitcoin mining. Remember, everyone was like, oh my gosh, they're using so much electricity. People are, buying up processors and using that to mine a Bitcoin. Well, it's the same thing with any new emerging technology. There may be a large amount of electricity that's going to get used. And so it doesn't matter if it's AI data centers or if it's Bitcoin mining. We need to have federal laws in place that say if there's a company or an operation that utilizes over a certain threshold of electricity, that they have to produce that electricity to be able to run. They shouldn't be able to just pull it from the grid and everyone else supplement their cost. There's a movement of saying that we shouldn't allow any other AI data centers to be built unless they're green data centers, which means that they're net zero electricity. So that's really important. Water usage, I think, is important in a different way, where there are definitely communities where they're more sensitive to droughts. And we need to make sure that AI data centers are built in places that do not have that problem. So Florida had a burn ban a couple weeks ago because we didn't have enough water, enough rain, and AI data centers would not help that at all. So there may need to be some level of, saying these areas, if they're subject to drought, the EPA may say you can't build AI data centers there because of the water usage. That's what I would say would be the best way to go about for environmental effects. For job effects, we definitely need to have stronger labor laws to protect people's jobs. Because my belief is that AI should be a tool, not a replacement for people.
Your thoughts on saving Social Security from insolvency?
Yes. So Medicare, Social Security, a lot of these social programs, there's always something brought up of like, we can't afford it. We can't. We also can't afford a war in Iran. We can't afford a lot of different things. And so the argument about us not being able to afford Social Security and Medicare, I don't think is a strong argument currently, but we do need to balance the budget. We do need to, going forward, right, future forward, we need to make sure that we're smart with policies with regards to our deficit. And so my suggestion is to lift the cap on income taxes, to allow, the cap for any of the taxes, and allow more progressive tax policies to come in place to keep those programs solvent. It doesn't make sense that we cap the tax rate at a certain percentage once your income explodes. It just doesn't make sense, and it prevents these programs from being solvent.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
I'm wondering if you plan on bringing climate into the discussion on a higher level than it's currently being treated, especially for the state of Florida. I mean, we're at such risk of sea level rise, and I'm really concerned with how we've been ignoring this issue that affects us so greatly.
Yeah, I agree. I think what I think about and is a winning message, I think is, this state, we run on sunshine, right? That's what we say. We're the sunshine state. We should run on sunshine. And so I think we can convince people and say, do we really want to live up to the name of our state? Let's do it. Let's create a grid, a electrical grid that runs mostly on solar in this state. We should. And there are always some level of silver linings for certain things that have happened. I don't like the war in Iran. I think it's not great. But I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes to gas prices and how turbulent they can be in times of war. And in some ways, I think the Iran war has pushed a lot of people to think about buying EVs and electrical vehicles again, which for a while, I think people were saying, we don't have the infrastructure, I need a new car, let me get gas. I think that's going to change even more after what has happened. And when we take back the White House and Congress and the Senate, we can actually put in policies to upgrade our infrastructure, because I think that's the biggest thing. Cars are a big emitter of CO2. A lot of our problems are around that. And I think if we at least get that running really quickly, then a lot of other things can come through. The AI data centers as well, those are the two big things that I think we really need to address from an environmental standpoint. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
And one last thing, as a thank you for letting us speak, we're going to give you, Michelle, a limited edition Pride t-shirt that we have printed for this month. And if you're interested in one, feel free to see us outside.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex. All right. I'm just going to put this here for timing. All right. I forgot to mention, if you have questions for our guest speakers towards the end, just when they speak, raise your hand. Somebody will come around to get them for you. And this gentleman over here will collect them. All right. Jillian Tozer is a local business owner, community leader, and Nocatee mother running for District 4 school board seat. She and her husband, Brendan, chose to settle in St. Johns County because of its strong reputation for educational excellence. Jillian is deeply invested in Valley Ridge Academy community, where her two daughters attend school. She's an active volunteer, serving on the PTO, the School Advisory Council, the Library Committee, and as a room parent. Jillian is also a professional with a background in complex logistics and community development. As the owner of Tozer Travel, she understands the daily challenges facing small businesses. Combined with her degree in city, regional planning, and community development, she possesses a unique set of skills perfectly suited for managing the growth and budgetary demands of a top-tier school district. Please give a warm welcome to Jillian Tozer. Huh?
Can I grab this? Just like,
Oh, sure.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for inviting me, and thanks you everybody in the St. Johns County Democrats for having me. Thank you, Alex. It's really inspirational to see how many people are getting involved in politics and really stepping up. Because local government, especially our school boards, are really where changes are made that impact our daily lives the most. My name is Jillian Tozer. I am running for school board in St. Johns County in District 4. I want to start by being completely honest with you. I never planned on running for a political office. It was never on my radar. I'm a planner, a small business owner, and most importantly, I'm a mom. I am not a politician. Like many families in District 4, my husband, Brendan, and I moved to the area in 2020 when he took a job in Jacksonville. We actually moved from Wilmington, Delaware. We specifically bought our home in St. Johns County for one reason: the unparalleled quality of the education. We chose to put down permanent roots in Nocatee because we love the community aspect and the events and the promise of the world-class education for our 2 young daughters who currently attend Valley Ridge Academy in 3rd and 5th grade. Since we have arrived, I have thrown myself into our schools. I'm a room parent. Sorry if this is a little bit. I serve on the PTO board. I'm an active member of the School Advisory Council, and I sit on the Library Advisory Council. I'm also a local business partner through my travel agency, Tozer Travel. Basically, I'm in the schools volunteering almost every single week. I have a front row seat to the incredible success in our classrooms, and I also see the very real daily challenges our educators are facing. A few months ago, me and my friend Katie were sitting in our school advisory council meeting, and I watched as our incredible principal stood before us in tears. She was heartbroken, explaining that because of the severe budget constraints facing us, she had to lay off 9 teachers. 9 dedicated, highly qualified teachers, only from our one school. It was 60 over the whole district. And I sat there watching, and I really thought to myself, what more can I do that I'm not already doing? So I looked at the systemic issues facing our district. I looked at the explosive growth, the chaotic rezoning, the budget deficits, and the brain drain of our best teachers to neighboring counties. I looked at the other individuals who had already filed to run in the District 4, and I realized that our community, our students, and our teachers needed a different kind of leadership. We needed a problem solver, not a problem identifier. So I realized I could step up. So in early May, I officially filed to run. I had just 2 weeks to collect all of my petitions. I needed 460 valid signatures from my neighbors, and I ended up collecting 700. I had a couple of very good friends that stepped up and said, we can really do this, and we did. So I was completely blown away by the support. But it also proved to me something our community really wants: parent-led, close community development. People know that public education is ultimately a quality of life issue, and they want someone who's going to work hard for it to make it right. So a little bit about my background. Right out of high school, I went to culinary school at the Culinary Institute of America. I worked in restaurants in Philadelphia for 10 years. I know you're probably thinking, what does it have to do with a school board? I had to manage complex budgets, high-paced, intense environments, and without losing my cool. After doing that, I decided I wanted to serve my community more. I went back to school to Temple University with a degree in community and regional planning with a focus on food insecurity. After I graduated from there, I went to work for a nonprofit in Philadelphia called Share Food Program. I ran a program that provides food for low-income seniors who sit 150% below the poverty line. So I learned how to manage massive logistical challenges, stretch every single dollar, and ensure that the vital resources actually reach the vulnerable people who need them. And today, as the owner of my own small business here in Florida, I manage complex logistics and balance large budgets every single day. I'm sharing this with you because Running a top-tier school district with a massive multi-million-dollar budget requires more than just political talking points. It requires logistical expertise, and it requires a planner. If I'm elected to the school board, and there are 4 core areas I'm going to focus on in our district. Sorry. Number 1, I want to expand early education and the VPK program. I want to focus on increasing the VPK programs in our K through 8th schools. I truly believe that once you get our children in our schools, they're going to see how fantastic our educators are, and they won't want to leave. Our communities are wonderful. Along with that, I want to fiercely protect our AP, IB, and dual enrollment programs in our high schools. I truly believe that families move here for the elite college prep education, and that will also keep our families from leaving our public schools. Number 2, I want to focus on keeping the politics out of the classroom. Our schools and our students are there to learn, period. Over the last few years, we've seen national culture wars infiltrate our schools, and a school board's job is not to push a political agenda. This is a nonpartisan race for a reason. Our students and our teachers must feel safe, protected, and supported by our community. Sensitive political discussions belong at home with your parents. They do not belong at school. Number 3, I want to focus on smart growth and rezoning. As everyone in Nocatee and Ponte Vedra knows, we've had explosive growth. I'm the only Nocatee homeowner running for this seat. I live this reality every day. When these rezones happen, I will be there with my degree in community and regional planning to help solve the infrastructure crisis with without chaotic reactive decisions. And I promise to do it with compassion. I understand most of these families that are facing a rezone, and especially families that have already faced it. It's very stressful. So I will consider everyone's voices, communicate transparently, and make sure we are planning for the next 5 years. Number 4, fiscal accountability. To maintain our status as the #1 district in the state, we must maintain our top-tier teachers. Right now, we are suffering from the brain drain, and we are losing highly qualified educators to neighboring counties and the private sector because the cost of living has skyrocketed. We must view our teachers as our most valuable resource. Helping our teachers is really the reason I got into this. We must trust their professional judgment in the classroom, and we must ensure their compensation is actually a competitive living wage. So how do we pay for that? We pay for that with fiscal accountability for every single taxpayer dollar. Right now, our public school budgets are being drained by the unregulated state voucher program. I support families finding the right fit for their children, but I also firmly believe that any private institution receiving our public tax dollars must face the same exact scrutiny, accreditation, testing, and rigorous expectations that our public schools are subjected to. Public money requires a public quality guarantee. If we stop the wasteful drain of our tax dollars and cut administrative bloat, we can reinvest that money right back into our classrooms. I want to leave you with one final thought. As I mentioned in the beginning, I'm not a politician. Like many of you, I've watched the financial burden maintaining excellence in our classrooms fall increasingly on the shoulders of our parents and our PTOs. We are constantly fundraising, holding bake sales, fun runs, and just to cover the basic classroom supplies. If I'm going to stand up here and ask you to vote for me and trust me with the multi-million-dollar district dollar budget, I think I need to have skin in the game. I want to prove that this position is a true public service and not a political stepping stone. That is why I've signed a formal pledge. If elected, I will donate 50% of my salary back to the PTOs within District 4. I'm truly stepping up just to serve my community, our parents, and our teachers. They're all working overtime to bridge the funding gaps in our school. Donating half my salary is my commitment to ensuring my focus remains exactly where it belongs, on the students. So thank you so much for your time. I would be honored to earn your vote on August 18th. Please share with your friends, neighbors. The school board race on August 18th is a nonpartisan race, so anyone can vote for anyone. There is 3 people running. If anyone receives 51% of the vote, it's done. That person wins. So it is really, really important that people vote in the primary. Okay, with the recent state government changes given by the 2022 Stop Woke Act, book bans, restricting race and gender are discussed in classrooms. What will you do to address this in St. Johns County? From a YouTube video. Again, I just think we need to keep politics out of schools. That's it. I mean, if you need to have discussions with your kids at home, I believe, along with the book bans, know what your kids are reading. When did our schools become the moral compass? My 2 kids read every night before bed, and I know the books that they're reading. If you have a concern, you should be addressing that with your own children. How will you address the threats to teachers' livelihoods, job security, and union representation through sweeping legislative changes if they do not follow the government's changes in the I would like to increase teacher pay. I do believe our teachers are massively underpaid. I would like to continue to keep the millage that was passed, and I would also like, there is some administrative fees in that I would like more of the percentage of the millage to go back to the teachers. How can you, as a school board member, help to change the state budget? Unfortunately, I don't think there's a ton that I can change there. But hopefully we can get better people in the legislature that can change it. One of the biggest issues facing teacher retention in St. Johns County is the archaic non-reappointment process. What would you do to fix these policies? How would you influence the other board members to change the policies? Oh, non-reappointment for budget and performance. Again, I am trying to just increase the number of students that we have in our school district, and I'm trying to retain the students. A lot of the teachers we lost this year were due to budget constraints because of the voucher program. If we keep our students in our schools, if we get more kids in VPK, if we increase our upper level academics, that's how we're going to keep our students and our teachers. Public schools have to follow 1,400 pages of state law regarding public education. How would you hold those schools taking voucher money and charter schools accountable to the same pages of rules and regulations? Charter schools follow only a couple hundred pages. Like I said in my speech, I believe anyone taking charter schools, religious schools, need to follow the same accreditation, need to follow the same budget constraints that our public schools do. If you are taking public money, then you need to have the same public standards. Okay. Anybody have any other questions?
I'm the one who read the question about the archaic non-reappointment process. So I'm a former teacher in St. Johns County, and
Could you step up to the mic because
I was the union president for 9 years
Oh.
too. So the question I want to, and you might not be aware of the whole non-reappointment for budget and performance process, but it is an absolute mess. It's one of the main reasons teachers leave our county because they're told they're non-reappointed for budgetary or you're just not a good fit. You're non-reappointed for performance even if you did a great job.
Okay.
So they have to spin in circles, interview all summer, go to all these different schools to talk to the principals, and they're never, ever guaranteed a placement, not even as a budget non-reappointment. So that is one of the main reasons teachers in St. Johns County, if they're non-reappointed, they give up. And they go to the other counties who do a workaround on Senate Bill 736 and allow teachers to have maybe 1 or 2 years, and if they're still not performing, then maybe they get the axe, so to speak. I just talked a lot. So how do you think you could change the school district's mind that they don't have to follow that bill word for word? Every other county in the state has found a workaround except for St. John's, which is, no, we follow the rules and we kick teachers out.
I would love to look at the workarounds that other counties have found. Again, losing 9 teachers for non-reappointment due to budget was the reason that I stepped into this role. And I just think it's just not acceptable. And watching our principal cry over it and saying, you know, if I had to find 3 teachers, I could probably find 3 teachers that were not living up to expectations, but 9 were quality educators that we were upset about. So I would like to just figure out what the other workarounds they are using are.
What you said about looking at other counties, that's one of the most valuable tools.
Yeah, 100%. If I don't know the answer, I will find the answer.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can leave that. Oh, no, yeah, I'll take that.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Thank you, Alex and Jillian. We appreciate you being here, and let's bring it home for both of them. All right, I would like to, before we go into our agenda, I'd like to honor tomorrow, which is Juneteenth. It was on June 19th, 1865. That is when the last enslaved Americans in Galveston, Texas, were finally told they were free, which was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So tomorrow, remember this day. Thank you. All right, I would like to call this meeting to order. Ruth, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Fabulous. Okay, next slide. And next slide. All right. Jay Baumstein is going to review our treasury report for the month of May. Oh, yes, here. Sorry.
Well, first, I want to thank our 2 speakers who were both wonderful. I wish I lived in either of your districts. Unfortunately, I can't vote for either one of you, but I wish you both well. Thank you.
But you can volunteer.
I definitely can, because we're not doing enough work here. I just want to point out a couple of numbers in our budget at the moment. We had a phenomenal month of May. If you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, but our revenue was up almost $1,800 in the month of May, which was wonderful. That is what I take care of. I report the money. I report to the supervisor of elections. So it's critical that we keep our monies coming in because our expenditures are going up right now with the primary coming at us. And then, of course, as we get into the general election, our expenditures are going to go up exponentially. So I want to encourage everybody to keep the donations coming in. Let your friends know. We like to try and do monthly, reoccurring donations. That also gets us additional monies through a grant that Ruth is involved with. So we want to keep the money coming in. And that's really all I have to report. The numbers are here. You can see them in our deck. If you go on the website, you can see the deck as well. But our revenue is it was up considerably in May, and we want to keep that up in June. So far in June, we've pulled in almost $2,700, and that's all we run on. For those of you who don't know that, we only run on donations. And if we're going to get great people like these folks elected, we have to get money so that we can put the effort forward. That's all I have. Any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up, we have the May minutes. Do we have any revisions to the May DEC minutes? No? Minutes are approved. Okay. All right, we're already on our next slide. So tomorrow's a big day for us. Tomorrow, the Florida Department of Elections announces the qualified candidates for the primary. And with that, we will create our August ballot card, which is the first time that the St. John's Democratic Party actually has an August ballot card. Yeah, the tide is turning, my friends. So there'll be digital versions of that ballot card on our website, in our newsletter. There will be hard copies available in the office. We're hoping that the clubs and caucuses publicize it. We have a lot to be proud about. Okay, next slide. We will also want to thank the Democrats that have already been elected. These folks were there was nobody else on the ballot. So congratulations. Next slide. So it's coming up fast. We have early voting, which starts August 8th. There are 6 locations for early voting. This will be on the Supervisor of Elections website. And early voting lasts from August 8th to August 15th. Next slide. Okay, on your chairs, there were a couple handouts. The one with the 2 QR codes is one where we're hoping we need people to sign up to be part of our voter protection program. Okay, that includes ballot curing, which is a function whereby if you do a vote by mail ballot and the SOE kicks it out for whatever reason, we have a team of people that will help cure them. The SOE cures them, but we really want to make sure that every Democratic ballot counts. So we'll do it too. So we need people to help with that. It's a short-lived time period that this job exists, but it's very important. It means calling them, emailing them, texting them, and if need be, going to their house and helping them to get their ballot fixed so their vote counts. We will have poll watchers, and you'll see, in addition to the 6 locations for early votings, on the actual day, election day, you have to vote in your precinct. So that is a position where we need people on. That is credentialed by the Supervisor of Elections. So if you sign up for that, then we compile the list, we submit it to the SOE, you get a badge. And then we have poll greeters. These are the people that are outside with the ballots, wearing this shirt, and promoting democracy and Democrats in the primary, and then also again in the general. So if you want to do that, the first QR code, you can sign up, and you can sign up for multiples. You can be a poll greeter on one day and a ballot curer on the other. And then the second one is a QR code because there are webinars that the Florida Democratic Party has for you to watch. If you want to get the URL so you get it in an email, I've given you Ruth Honig's email there. Just reach out to her and she will send you that. Also on Friday, in addition to getting the list of qualified candidates for us to generate the ballot card, we will get from the Supervisor of Election the list of the database will be updated with all the people who have signed up for vote by mail. So starting next week, they do that 60 days in advance of the election. They hold it up. So we have no idea what our report card on our efforts have been to date, but we're going to find that out real fast. So starting next week, the way that we door knock and lit drop will change because we're just going to people that haven't signed up for vote by mail. If you haven't signed up for vote by mail, chances are you don't even know that there's an election. You don't even know that there's an election in August. So we want to reach those people, and we also say, here's our ballot card. So please get engaged on that level starting next week. And you can stop by the office any day that we're open, pick up a literature kit, get a turf list, or a canvassing kit. But it's coming up fast, folks. So you see there are the dates. VBMs go out, vote by mail ballots go out in about a month. So the time is now. Okay, but now on to the fun stuff. So we're having here the Great American Skit Show. I could use an expletive, but we'll say the Great American Skit Show. It's the antithesis of the celebration in Washington, D.C. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you went to Shrink Wrap, where it was sold out in 2 locations, it's the same director. It will be here at 4 o'clock on the Sunday before July 4th. We actually will have a bar. It'll be open half hour in advance. Everybody gets a drink ticket coming in. It ought to be great fun. Be there. Next slide. Okay. This is my own pet project that I'm thrilled about. It is so hard to reach young people. Look at Alex, he's smiling. And I've tried to get a TikTok channel launched, and we have. Can you click on the link, Daniel? Yeah. Okay. This is the actual live link. How many subscribers do we have? 502. We launched not even 10 days ago. Oh, there's Alex. So we.
Alex Hazen, I'm running for U.S. Congress.
You can take it down. But subscribe. This is how we reach young people. TikTok and Instagram. And I'm delighted that we have 2 people that have taken on the challenge of collecting videos from everyday people and from candidates. One of them is Brandon over here. Raise your hand, Brandon. Brandon's a little shy, but he's a great digit head. But you'll see there, Julie Araford and Brandon Tiernan, there's their phone numbers. Do a video. If you have a young person in your life, talk to them. Say, what's the biggest issue that you've got? You know, is it affordable housing, lack of health care? We want to have young people. And if you know TikTok, it's 30 seconds, and you got to grab them in the first 3 seconds. I don't know if you all saw my video on there. I've gotten 15,000 views. So, but please, any of you, take their numbers down and send them. And we can edit it. We can put hashtags on it. And candidates, we've had a great response so far from candidates. But as soon as we hit 1,000 people on TikTok, we have a link tree that will go live. And what that will enable us to do, we've got it linked to register to vote, vote by mail, check my voting status in the St. John's Democratic Party. So we really want to hit 1,000 subscribers, because that is the way that we're going to get young people really engaged in the political process. And I mean all of you submit videos to Julie and Brandon. All right? This is just, a slide because young people, this is what's important to them. They don't have health care. When the ACA subsidies went away, so did their health care. They can't afford to live in this county. And all the things that you see there, and others. Whatever it is, we want to hear from them, and we want to put it on our TikTok channel. Next slide. Okay, this Alex Vindman, actually we've had an addition, but Alex Vindman is coming back to St. Johns County. However, since he's been here, the next meeting will be up at the River of Life, which is in the northwest part of the county. This is in our newsletter. So if you didn't catch them the first time, you can catch them there. And all of our meetings, all of our DEC meetings are on our YouTube channel, both in live and archive. So you can watch Alex on an archive. So it's a great resource for voters. So I just want to make a mention of that. Next slide. Okay, we have, you all may recall that Ronnie Murchison Rivera, who was a candidate for CD6, unfortunately could not make his originally scheduled meeting. He got called into Washington, D.C. for some reason. He rescheduled, and he will be here along with Susanna Pavel, who's running for Florida District 19 on July 21st, Tuesday, July 21st at 6:30. So you can catch Ronnie and Susanna here on that date. That won't be a DEC meeting, but it'll just be the two of them. Then our DEC meeting is always on the third Thursday of the month. Thursday, August 20th is 2 days after the election. All of our candidates who won and who didn't win are invited. We want to celebrate everybody, all of them, and show that St. John's Democrats are united going into November. And we may have a special guest here from the Florida Democratic Party. That's all I want to say about that. Next slide. We also will have a nonpartisan town hall. We've done these throughout the years. We have another YouTube channel, which is at Concerned Citizens of SJC. And this is a hot topic that DeSantis and his Republican supermajority legislature put on the ballot. It will be on as a petition, and it is the elimination of real estate tax from homestead properties. And we want to educate people in terms of the devastating effects that we'll have. We will have on the dais, not us, because we don't set the agenda, we don't control the conversation, but it will be people that are in positions that in government that can tell us about why this is not a good thing, and give their recommendation on how to vote in November against this amendment. Next slide. That's it. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Susan, second. Thank you, guys. Have a great July 4th, and be here for the Star Spangled Skit Show. Thank you.